Battlefield Hardline, the new shooter from DICE and Visceral Studios. This is the game that we've all been waiting for. Is it better than Battlefield 4? Is this title really worth all the excitement for? Yes, absolutely. What you just saw in the intro is what this game feels like all the time. Hardline is just filled with pure epic moments. The cars handle like a charm, it's a lot better than Battlefield 4, the gunplay is top-notch, the hit registration is spot on, and light years ahead if you compare it to Battlefield 4. Sweet people of the internet, I'm gonna be very, very sad when I go back to Battlefield 4, let me tell you. I'm gonna be the saddest man in the freaking universe once the beta ends, because this game is fantastic. Now, is this just the excitement getting the better of me when I talk about Battlefield Hardline? Quite possibly, yes, but after playing Battlefield 4 for so long, I was really skeptical about this game, and although I was very excited to play it, I wasn't exactly convinced that this title would be all that great and epic. And after my first couple of games, I already realized that this game is going to be a success. Everything just feels a lot more responsive compared to Battlefield 4. It's just an improvement all across the board. But what improvements are you speaking of, Dolce? Well, improvements like minimal screen shake, although it does still happen when Levolution happens on the map, because, you know, that's still a thing. You can also now take ammo and health off of your teammates, and it only works on operators and enforcers, though. But still, it's a huge improvement. I have no idea why they didn't do that in Battlefield 4. When you hit someone in the head now, it actually gives you a red hit marker, which is super useful, and you can fire your weapon again whilst being in midair. How wonderful is that? The sound design is again really well done and nothing but quality, and the amount of detail spent on the maps is insane. They look absolutely gorgeous. Now, what you will notice, and that's something that I noticed as well watching gameplay on YouTube, is that the map that I'm currently playing on, High Tension, looks very, very similar to Siege of Shanghai on first sight. The color grading looks very similar along with some of the building models, but once you're actually in the game, once you're actually playing it, it does look very different, especially when you're inside these buildings and the underground parking lots. You will notice that the game does in fact look and feels a lot different from Battlefield 4. Hardline is just one of those games that you will have to play yourself in order to be convinced. You could watch gameplay all day long on YouTube, and I could tell you all day long, this game is great, it feels fantastic, it plays super smooth, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to try it out for yourself and make up your own mind. What I will say, though, is that some of you guys will absolutely not like the game, and I'm thinking of many Battlefield players that enjoy driving around in tanks on very large maps and are used to a slower pace of gameplay. If you don't like gun-on-gun action, infantry combat, all that good stuff, you will most likely not enjoy this title. But if you're like me and prefer infantry combat in BF4, you are going to love Hardline. Now, after saying all of that, not everything is all rainbow and kittens. Yes, the beta is solid and it plays very well, but there are still some minor issues to be addressed in this game. Some of the animations, for example, are not even as close to being as good as they are right now in Battlefield 4, and you'll also often notice that you get sucked into the wall at times when running into narrow spaces like staircases or corridors. But those things will be fixed for the final release, and I'm sure that it's just the leaning system bugging out. And you know what? It's okay for things to bug out in the beta. I have absolutely zero issues with that. The more it bugs out and the more issues rise to the surface, the better. Because this time, we're actually getting a solid beta. We're 4 months away from the final release date, and that leaves the dev team plenty of time to iron out all of the kinks and prep this game for a smooth launch. Same thing goes for the server load. And I expect Battlefield Hardline's launch to be the smoothest that we've ever seen, okay? At least I hope so, because they have a tendency to sometimes mess things up. They have a tendency to sometimes tell us, oh, this is going to be great, and then the game releases, and it's not. So take it with a pinch of salt. But again, I'm very optimistic, and I'm expecting the launch of Battlefield Hardline to be smooth as a baby's buttocks, or something similar to that. Also, another thing that you guys should know, and this is for all the people who be like, oh, but Battlefield 4's netcode is shit, so Hardline obviously will be shit because it's on the same engine and they only had X amount of time to make the game, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about. That was ridiculous, but many people think like that. Well, you should know that the final version of the game will be a lot more responsive and smoother netcode-wise, okay? The game is currently running at a tick rate of 10, but It will be bumped up to 30 once the game finally releases, and they will be bringing in all of the fixes from the Battlefield 4 CTE servers. So if you're in the beta and you find the game to be not as responsive as you would like it to be, or as you would have hoped it to be, don't worry, because the release version of Battlefield Hardline will be a lot better, and it will be a major, okay, a major improvement to the current beta. So those are my thoughts on Hardline right now. These are my totally Ranku-free, honest opinions of the game, and I think it's a great success. But if you're skeptical, give it a try. I will leave a link in the description to participate in the closed beta, so you guys can give it a try and try it out for yourselves. It is safe to say that I am super duper pumped for this game. I cannot believe I just said super duper. Anyways, I'm excited. I can't wait to play this game, and I'm going to be throwing a lot more Hardline at your face in the near future. I can promise you that. And let me know what your first impressions are of the game. Are you enjoying the beta, or isn't this your cup of tea? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm Dolce, loving your faces like a madman hopped up on Hardline adrenaline, and I'll see you in the next video.
And I can't